This is part 2 of the box pattern slab vessel. While the bottom was stiffening, I sketched the rest of the vessel, and you can see that these parts are cone shapes. There's the cone for the spout, and the top of the pot, and the lid. Now I'll cut the darts and fold in the top of the box-shaped vessel. You can see that these darts are offset from the ones below, which will make the box form have a zigzag to it. This is all done the same way as the bottom was made, and obviously the bottom is now stiff enough to support what I'm doing with the top half. I do like the tactile qualities of earthenware clay, but you can use these same methods with stoneware clay or porcelain. The shape of these darts forces the clay into this form with these little points on it, and I'm not pushing them around or exaggerating. I want the shape of this clay vessel to essentially mimic the way the paper pattern folded together. I do some things by eye, and I do nudge the form around a little bit, so even if I were to make another vessel using the exact same pattern, it would be different. And if you used the pattern that I made, it would be different. It's these little details that make the thing interesting. Here's the cone pattern for the neck of the pot. I cut this out of the piece of paper that you saw earlier. First, I'll cut the edges that join at the same angle. And it's not hard to figure out. I just hold the knife at the same angle and cut the same direction. The bottom will also be cut at an angle, and that gives more surface area to join to the body of the vessel. And the top edge will be cut square. It's easiest to soften edges while the clay is still laying on the table, so I'll do both the inside and the outside edge at the top of the vessel now. They don't fit exactly, but I can fix that. The contrast between round and square is clearly intentional here. One more little adjustment. Here's a go at making a lid, and again, this is just a cone shape. And here is a spout. This is soft clay rolled out a bit thinner. I often make hand-built spouts for wheel-thrown pots because I have more control over the form. I'll use the handle of my slip paintbrush to help form the seam. It provides a good backup for the pressure that I'm applying with my fingers. The spout that I sketched and am making now has an angular bend to it. The way of making this bend comes from tinsmithing. This spout is still a little long by design, but I'm curious what it might look like on the vessel. I also made another one just so I could see which one I liked better. Here I'm making the lid, and the flange is just another cone shape that goes inside the neck of the vessel. I find the best way to decide what to do is to make parts and see what I like. Sorry the camera didn't focus, but what I'm doing is marking the bottom and top of the spout and then cutting it, and I'll probably have to adjust the cut. More decisions, but it's getting closer. In order to know where to cut the hole for the spout, I'll print the spout shape right on the pot with slip before I cut. It seems I'll always stick the spout on crooked the first time. Just like with the rest of this vessel, I'm not trying to hide the seam. I made something for the top of the lid with a little strip of clay. We'll see how this looks. Before I actually make the handle, I'll make a little mock-up to see where I want the handle to go. Now I'll make a handle by cutting and rolling and cutting some more a piece of clay. I want the handle to vary in width and in thickness. And this is a very easy way to get control over the shape of the handle. The edges need to be softened. comparing it with my test handle. Here I'm checking the fit. And this handle has the same stiffness as the rest of the pot, but I will slip and score to make sure it stays. Some final adjustments. The reason I made this video is just to make sure everybody understands why we've been making patterns from paper. I find working with patterns and sheets of clay is a really interesting way to both design and make things.